Hey, what's up, everybody? It's just Charles, and I welcome you guys to another episode of the Dreamerspro Show, where we cover everything from sports, hot topics, classic debates, entertainment, and where we give you guys a fresh perspective on things and how we see them. And boy, oh boy, we have an interesting episode for you guys, and we're just going to keep this thing rolling. So make sure you go ahead and like the video and subscribe to the channel. Now, as y'all know by now, everyone, literally everyone, is talking about what happened at the Oscars. Was it just yesterday between Will Smith and Chris Rock? Now, yes, I say yesterday, depending on when you see this video, obviously, but we all know what this is. Like, I woke up to the news, and my fiance actually gave me the news, and then next thing you know, my mom texted me, and I was like, everybody was talking about this, and it was the #1 trending thing all throughout the media. And yesterday, I was saying to myself, we were saying to ourselves, do we want to produce this video because it's not sports related? And then we realized everybody talked about it under Undisputed, ESPN, and I'm sitting there like, why am I sitting there wasting my time thinking about all of this? And people are just like, hey, this is a hell of a story, and there's no way we can pass it up. And yesterday, literally everybody chimed in on this situation. Everyone had an opinion. Everyone. Some people had this to say, some people had that to say. But the most hilarious take on the entire incident that I heard yesterday was that of Shannon Sharpe. Now, y'all know Shannon Sharpe is probably one of the funniest people on TV. I think it's him and Charles Barkley as the two funniest people in sports media. These guys are hilarious. And Shannon Sharpe, man, when they brought up the topic, it was like as if he couldn't even wait to pounce on the subject matter when they got into the, into the show. And that's really what I believe Shannon Sharpe is really at his best. He is at his best when he's reacting to things like this, and he's giving his raw, unfiltered take on things, and he's just clearly being himself. And that's what I think he is. That's when I think he is at his absolute best. And yesterday was no different. So for those of you who missed his comments, really his onslaught on Will Smith and the entire situation, we want to play a little bit of his comment, play some of his comments that he had to make, which I thought were totally gold, like TV gold. And then we're going to come back here and react to it. So before we go too far, take a listen to what some of the things that Shannon Sharpe had to say here, and then we'll come back and react to it. So take a listen to that.
What he should have done is what DC Young Fly did last year when somebody came up on the stage and whipped him. Because, see, this is going to be out there for perpetuity. But also would have been out there for perpetuity. I'd have come up out that tux. I'd have whipped Will Smith's ass.
I know you.
I would have whipped, he'd have had to whip me, or I'd have had to whip him. And every time I see him, it's on sight. Okay. There ain't nothing to say. And hold on, I'm watching him at the Vanity Fair, and Will Smith is carrying on like ain't nothing happened. And then you apologize to the Academy. After the Academy, you need to apologize to that man. Skip, let me tell you, there's 3 things, especially in our community. You say the N-word, you spit on me, and you slap me. Because if you go back when we were less than, that's what they did. They didn't punch you, they slapped you.
Got it.
Because that's the ultimate sign of disrespect. When you hear somebody, they don't say, I'm going to punch you. They say, I'm going to slap the you-know-what out of you. Because that's the ultimate sign of disrespect. Will Smith, and his crowning achievement, he finally won an Oscar. And he's had some performances that he could have easily won one. Now, Will Smith won the Oscar in 2022. But this overshadows it. He's never going to be able to live this moment down. What should have been his greatest moment, his joy, is marred by this.
Because most people anticipated he was going to win Best Actor.
Right. Okay. And so now you take the moment away from Venus and Serena about their dad, the story about their family and their dad. You stole that moment from them. Why? Because he made a joke. This is the first time I get it. Chris Rock said something back in 2016 when Will Smith said he was going to boycott, and Jada said she wasn't coming also, and Chris Rock said, well, they didn't invite you anyway, so nobody going to miss you.
His acceptance speech that Denzel told him that at your highest moment, be careful, that's when the devil comes for you.
I'm the devil. If I'm Chris Rock, I'm the devil that's coming for him. I'm coming up out that purple Tom Ford, a Brioni, or a Caesar Antolini, I don't know who that was, but I'm coming up out of there. I'm coming up out of these clothes, but I don't care nothing about that. Man, you can't do that to somebody, Skip. So now comedians, can they not say anything? I'm worried about people coming up on stage.
Now, apart from the fact that it was funny, I think Shannon Sharpe's reaction is the perfect example of there being no clear right way to respond to this situation. He said that if it were him, he would have retaliated on stage. He said, no, my jacket, that Tom Ford or that Brian, Dolce & Gabbana, whatever it is, suit had to come off, jacket had to come off, and we're going to scrap on stage. That's how he would have responded to that situation, because he said, this thing is going to go down in history. Those tapes, that audio, that visual is always going to be there, and it's going to be, something that is not going to reflect well on Chris Rock in terms of being attacked. Who wants to have that on their record? So for him, he said he would have needed to respond in the moment. And some people agreed with him. And there's another school of people that said that if Chris Rock responded in kind on that stage in that particular moment, he would have brought himself down to the level of Will Smith. There's some people that heard what Shannon Sharpe said and totally agree with him. And there are a school of people out there that totally disagree with him and said that, listen, that thing would have been a disaster. Now, in my personal opinion, if I were Chris Rock, meaning I just got assaulted, we're not talking about, you're getting into a physical altercation in the mall or on the street, somewhere like this, where you can react to it and you don't have sort of the backdrop of an entire national television audience watching you, just you and the person, maybe the people there, then maybe you can react to it in that moment, depending on the situation. If you react to someone that has a weapon on them, you just know that the odds are not in your favor and you have to be smart. Some people are not smart. Some people want to prove that they're macho. And usually those people were sitting up here talking about them, asking what happened. But if I was in Chris Rock's situation, I would have waited during a commercial break or after the show. During a commercial break. And I would have confronted Will Smith. Because if he did what he did to me on that live stage, and I reacted to him by, trying to fight him or whatever, then that situation would have been a total disaster. Then the both of them would have been in the wrong. Believe it or not, it would have made the two of them look like absolute buffoons. And all of those stereotypical things that they normally say about black people, us, they would have been thrown at. You see, look how they act. Look at them. But in that particular situation, given the fact that he did not retaliate, the embarrassment was solely placed at the feet of Will Smith. That's why it was so powerful that Chris Rock did not react to him that way. Chris Rock came out of that situation looking like the adult. That's literally what happened. So if I were him, I would have reacted after the show or during a commercial break. Now, if I was Will Smith, and someone was speaking about my wife, well, hate to get into this aspect of it, but it also depends on the type of woman that I have. Is she the one I'm going to be sitting up here trying to defend her honor? If it's me, hell no. I'm sorry. Not everybody's worth it. There's some women that are not worth it, and there are definitely some men that are not worth it. There's some people that's not worth defending their honor. And in my personal opinion, I don't believe in that particular situation. That's why some people felt as if his response was deeper than what we saw. They said they felt like it was something deep rooted, and it must have been something that was really bothering him for a long time. And that was the moment where things just kind of snapped for him. And that's the reason that he went off, in that particular moment. But to me, back to Shannon Sharpe, I just think he gave an interesting take, and he was the only one that gave that take, really. He was the only one, but you can't fault him because the guy's being himself, and there are a lot of people that agree with him. We read the comments yesterday. We produced a video, and the video I think has over 1,000 comments. And so many people are like, man, you do that to me in public, I'm going to retaliate, blah, blah. So he's not the only one that feels that way. And then there are other people out there that say, wait a minute, you can't bring yourself down to the level of, and start behaving like that. But to me, of all the people, I really enjoyed his response. I definitely don't agree with all of it. I'm not going to stand on the stage and start scrapping with you. Like, how do we look? Especially as grown adults. If these were teenagers, then that's one thing. You can kind of excuse them because they're like, yo, these are teenagers, they're dumb, right? Not saying that all teenagers are dumb, but when I was a teenager, I thought I knew everything, and I was dumb as hell, but I thought I knew everything. It's usually how we are. But when these are two adults, it becomes embarrassing. That's the point. When grown men don't act their age, it is embarrassing. And the only people that are impressed by it are big babies. That's the part. So by Chris Rock restraining himself, he was the adult. And it made Will Smith look like the villain, which in fact he was. And that's why he had to make a public apology to the guy. So Those are my thoughts and opinions. And what I want to know from you guys, what do you think about Shannon Sharpe's response to the situation? What do you think about some of the things that I said? Whatever you guys think, please leave your thoughts and comments in the comment section below. And we'll definitely catch you guys on the next episode. Peace.